Why is it offline? How do I make it online? How do I make it online? We're live. Okay, so how do I tell people about this? How do I tell people about it? Guess I tell people this way. Let me send this out here, let some people know. Let's see here. When am I going live? Oh, hey guys. I don't know you, but I am live right now, I guess. I'm going to be selling in just a second, but first I'm letting some people know on Google Plus that I'm going live. Okay, we are almost ready to start sewing. I should try this on Twitch sometime as well. There we go. Alright, that was the last promotion. Uh-oh, my... It's giving me a warning. But... oh well. You guys there? Let me know if you are still there, because it's telling me that my junk's messed up. It's giving me a stream health of bad, unfortunately. I don't really know. I guess that's all I gotta do. Okay, gonna sew in just a moment. See if I can figure out this setting that they're complaining about. File, settings, stream. Can't change anything while I'm streaming, so I will deal with it later. Right now, I'm just going to get started. Okay, let's turn this around so we can see Move the sewing machine out of the way. Let's see what we got going on. Oh. This is the test circuit that I did earlier. And there's enough of it here for me to actually test whether or not this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch these bits in and see. First I got to cut them off the last test I did. All right. So what we have here is the test I did this morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch in this battery holder as well as this Lily Twinkle and one LED. Where are my LEDs? Here's one LED. So hopefully that will function for us. Oh, I have a needle and thread, and I want some tape because this stuff likes to pop off. Good old duct tape. Good old duct tape. Okay, so let's start with this fella here. I'm just going to tape this down so I can sew it in place. Get some conductive filament, thread. I've been printing, 3D printing too much. We're going to get a little conductive thread. This light is too bright, isn't it? Let's see if that's any better. Oh, it's still pretty strong. Okay. This stuff likes to unwind like crazy. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Should have good audio. No, there's not much too exciting about watching somebody sew a bit, is there? Okay. Someone let me know if you can hear me. So I really don't have any way to see on this screen unless I'm missing it whether or not you can hear me. There may be some kind of display, but I don't see it. So I've sewn that battery holder in place. And now I'm making sure to get a good connection with this conductive filament back here. We'll do a couple twists around and back through. Boy, this stuff is tough. It really wants to unwind. I see it's not making a great connection on this top end either, so I'll have to sew it in. Sew it around this top end a little better. Oh, my hands are so shaky. Here we go. So we'll just making a nice tight knot here, hopefully. This stuff really wants to loosen up. And on the final version, I would suggest sealing it with some kind of stitch lock, or I believe Becky Stern recommends clear nail polish. That would work as well. So we have our negative in place. Let's go for our positive. And then we should maybe be able to just test the LED by just touching it on some of the threads, in theory. But I really want to try to get at least 2 steps removed and see how far we can get with it. Can you guys hear me? Anybody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? I don't know if there's any audio on your end. Guess I could load it up on my phone or something. See what the experience is like. Ah, good. Thank you, Toby. Thank you. Haven't really done much of the streaming on my own before. The streaming I have done has been with Tyler through work, and he is a professional. I never know anything that's going on because I don't have to, because Tyler has it all figured out and he is making it happen. But at home, screwing around in my basement here, I'm gonna do this stuff on my own. So we are just stitching together the battery connection here on this patch. Now, if you are just joining this and have no idea what the heck I'm doing, the goal here is I got an embroidery machine and I want to use it to make patches with embedded circuits. And I want the machine to do 99% of the work. I don't want to sew the circuit myself afterwards. I want the machine to do it as much as possible. So all I have to do is come in afterwards and make a few simple, tiny little connections, kind of like populating your PCB. Hey there, Alessandro. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And so once I get the embroidery machine to put down 99% of the circuit, then I should be able to just stitch the last tiny bits, in theory, and have a complete circuit. So that's something I need to work on, is that stitching to get that nice and tight. In theory, if I can find my LED here, in theory I should be able to get some light just by touching these threads here somewhere. And there we go. Let's see if that shows up on camera. There's a delay between what I do and what shows up on screen, so I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. And there it is. So we have success. That's the first success for this circuit. That means we're conducting. We've got our battery hooked up. But what I really want, what I really want, is for this Lily twinkle to make the LED flash. Well, that's awesome. We got a lit LED. That is freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Man, I'm excited. Well, okay, this is gonna get messy, I think. I'm not gonna stitch this where it's supposed to go. I'm gonna stitch it down here because my design kind of fell apart at the end here and it stopped stitching, so those aren't gonna make contact, but they happen to line up perfectly down here lower. So I'm going to stitch it there, and that is going to kick ass, and hopefully we will get to see what the final effect is on this circuit. You'll have to bear with me while I do some more hand stitching. But man, that's awesome. We have successfully demonstrated the LED sequins are functioning through the machine embroidered stitch, not a hand embroidered stitch. Oh, this stuff wants to unwind so bad. Do not unwind on me. Okay. So let's... What do I do with my needle? Here it is. Let's make this happen. Oh, I have such shaky hands. Threading needles is such a pain. Such a pain. They say, there's a tool for that, but you gotta shove that tool through the needle also. There we go. So, let's get some conductivity here. Oh, this is so much better than the first attempt that I did. So much better. So, for any of you watching, do any of you sew at all? Or is this kind of new and alien to you? I'm kind of curious how many people are actually interested in the sewing stuff that I'm doing. I know people are more used to me lighting stuff on fire and blowing it up, but to me, this is just as fascinating. And it's not going to put me in the hospital, which is a bonus. At least, hopefully it won't put me in the hospital. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to figure out a good pattern to use to finish out these stitches because it is wanting to come unraveled. This conductive filament is steel, and so it doesn't want to, tie in knots very well. It wants to be straight. So we are going to force it by tying some fishing lure knots. Monofilament kind of does the same thing. It doesn't want to be in a knot. It wants to be straight. So some of those little lure knots, I don't even know what they're called, but it's the same knot I use to put lures on when I'm fishing. You can kind of work on this stuff. Boy, it's a hassle. And I just broke that filament, or that thread. It's not a good sign. Not a good sign. But, it happens. I'm sure I'll get better with this stuff as I experiment. But boy, it just wants to fight you every second. Wants to unwind, untie, unthread. It's kind of a jerk. All right. Boy, who knew you'd find such an exciting live feed today? Get to watch a guy so painfully slowly. And you can see on that backside, hopefully the webcam can pick it up. You can see that conductive filament there. And I'm not just going around it with a single stitch, but I'm actually coming back through. Again, another tip I picked up from Becky Stern when she was at Adafruit. I'm going back through the stitch a couple times to get that extra bit of conductivity. And then I have to be careful on this one because it's really close to the next bit over. Where am I on this? Okay. All right. Oh, we're close to being able to test the Lily Twinkle. Very close to being able to test the Lily Twinkle. Now, you can see in the background also this green surface that I'm working on. This was from a Nintendo Wii, a yoga mat my mother-in-law gave us. She was sick of it, and she gave it to us in this old nasty workbench here in my basement. Had just old beat up 2x4s as a desktop, as a countertop. And so I just covered it in this yoga mat, and it's actually a really nice surface for working on threads because it kind of grips the thread in a very pleasant way. Not that it matters with this conductive thread. I'm sure it is going to find a way to fight me no matter what I do. So let's snip that. Oh, we're so close. Oh, we're so close to testing this circuit. Let's take this tape off. Oh my goodness, we're so close. So close to testing. Just need 3 more little bits of conductive thread sewing. No, 2. Just 2. No, 3. 3. 3 more little bits of conductive thread sewing. So I've got battery positive and negative attached to the Lily Twinkle, positive and negative. Now I'm connecting a pin from the Lily Twinkle, which is a Lily Twinkle is a little board it's interesting. I chose this because of its simplicity. It's kind of a for lack of a better way to put it, a dumb board. Like you don't program it; it just randomly flashes the LEDs. And I wanted to do a couple versions because the goal here is to share this. The goal here is to share this with people who may not have a lot of experience. and I'm wanting them to be able to recreate it. I don't test the voltage using my on the UC. Well, my here, I can show you what I do. So I can actually test here for impedance, like from the positive to the positive here. Oh, my hands are so shaky today. I just mowed the lawn and took a shower. And I've got a good connection here, more or less, from positive to positive. Um, let's try negative here. Negative to negative, good connection. Let's try positive again. Positive to positive, good connection. So those are tested. Um, that's why I'm excited because I don't know if you watched Alessandro. I don't know if you watched the video yesterday, but yesterday I was not getting good connections, and today I am because I'm using a different stitch on the machine itself that gives me a looser uh, back here where I can make a good connection to that conductive filament. And that is making all the difference in the world. Just that tiny bit more loose stitch is giving me a connection I can actually work with. It's the difference between it just not working at all and being a success. And it keeps sliding out of this needle here because I'm just using the tiniest amount of conductive filament because I am stingy and I only have 2 little reels of it and I don't want to run out before any more gets here. So if you're wondering why I keep fighting with that, that's why. So we are so close. Oh my goodness. Only 2 more conductive stitches after this. And we will have, if everything holds up, we will have a blinking LED through multiple connections, not just direct. And the multiple connections is fairly important in this scenario because those connections are certainly the weak point in this project. Those connections and my big fat clumsy fingers. You know, it's a shame that I like to do such small things because my hands are just useless. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! We're so close. We're so close. All right, all right, all right. Let's stitch this LED in. Some thread. Oh, my heater just kicked on. Might be a little loud for you guys. A little chilly here today. My fingers were freezing while I was mowing the lawn. Would stitching a bit of copper tape be feasible? Sure. Um, for that connection here at the end, it would. But ultimately, the idea is that the machine would lay down the circuit, and then I would throw in regular thread, and it would sew over everything with a visual patch, leaving only little bits behind for me to connect to at the ends. Um, so I'm not sure if what you're asking about doing, you know, the copper foil. I don't know if you're suggesting that at the very ends or through the whole thing. But if everything goes correctly, the only part I'll be able to access will be a little circle at the very end of the patch. Okay, so what I need here is to sew this LED on. And hopefully make a good connection here. Oh no! Alright, this is going to get a little messy because the conductive filament doesn't go super far. So are you suggesting that I make kind of like make a tab out of conductive filament? That could work. I suppose that could work just fine. It might give me a much easier way to connect these things, in theory. Like a... You're not distracting me. I did a live feed so I could interact with people. If I wanted solitude, I would just do it on my own. I should have taped that sucker down. It's gonna keep flopping around and bugging me. But now, let's look here on the back. I gotta try to make a connection here with this thread. And it really wants to just unravel. Boy, this stuff is just not what I would call pleasant. Alright. No, you're right, though. I did not, Hey, Sherry! How's it going? I'm working on a project that I'm hoping we can get a sewing machine company to help sponsor some videos on. All right, Alessandro. Well, Sherry, this is what I do every day, all day. And this is why Mike and Jason hired me, I suspect. Because even when I'm not working, I'm working. And even when I'm really not working, I'm working. So play is work and work is play, and it's all the same. And I mean, we're all that way, I guess. For those who don't know, Sherry is at Make as well. Blinster! Hey man, how's it going? Is that Blinster? That sounds familiar. Is that Ben Hibben? Yeah, lazy workaholics. All we do is work. Good luck getting me to focus on something I'm not interested in, though. You know, press releases. I'm horrible about doing my work when it comes to stuff I'm not interested in. But you give me something I'm interested in, and I'll go nuts. I will go nuts. For example, I'd really love it if we could work with Brother, the sewing machine company, on this, but I didn't want to wait for them, so I went out and just bought everything. Bought all of it. Found it myself. So, hey, it is Ben Hibben. Alright. So we're so close, guys. Here we're going to make this very last stitch here, and this will tell us whether or not our system is working. This last stitch. And again, this is not the completed thing. This is just a test. This is just one little test part for the whole patch. The entire patch ultimately will be prettier. It'll be, you know, here's let's see here. Like here's a make patch, and if this were applied to the same concept, hey, I just realized I did that wrong for that. Oh, there it is. Okay. So if this were applied to the same concept, then like I'd put LEDs in the eyes and a battery down here, and that's what would light up. So this other patch is going to look more like this when I'm done. Uh, yeah, that's what I mean. We're more lazy about work, but we also don't stop working on a project to eat or pee. That's true. That's true, Blister. And Joseph Floyd, loving the progress. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. And I don't know if I'll be at Maker Faire Orlando. I go to a lot of Maker Fairs, but you know, maybe. You never know. All right, guys. It's the final stitch. I actually, man, I loved Maker Faire Orlando, and I felt like I got a chance to write about more people than I normally do, and I felt like I got a chance to connect with people more than I normally do. And part of that, oh, we're getting light there, even though I've got the switch set to off. So that means we're shorting out somewhere. Um, so I need to fix that. I don't know why that's happening. We'll have to try to locate that because that's while it's great that we have a connection, that means that our circuit's broken somewhere. Well, we were getting light. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of light here. Why are we getting light? That shouldn't be happening yet. Maybe I'm just maybe it's bridging on this loose thread that I'm actually stitching right now and just making me think that I've got a problem when I don't. We'll see. We will see. We'll know very, very soon because I'm almost done with this. I'm so excited and shaky that I'm making some really ugly stitches here. But you know what? I don't care. What I do care about though is that I can't seem to tie this knot. This is this is so close, folks. So close. And even though this isn't sewing circuits is not new. People have been doing this for a while. It's new to me, and that's freaking exciting. God, I love exploring this new stuff. So again, if I were doing this as a permanent thing, I'd go over this. Becky Stern suggests clear nail polish. I've got stitch lock, thread lock that might work. So I'm going to switch on this switch. Oh, we've got light. And that should fade randomly. And it is. And I'm going to wait here a second till the feed catches up so I can see whether or not it's showing up on the screen. Maybe I could even kill some lights. That's what I'll do. I'll kill some light here. Oh, it died when I put it down. I must have ruined my connection. Aww. There we go. So it just seems like it's just steady right now. However, that should be randomly flickering. Nope. Something's bridged. My circuit's broken somewhere. Something's bridged, because that's just on. That should be randomly flickering. Now, I lost my video feed's not caught up at all. So I don't know what it looks like to you guys, but I'm guessing by Alessandro and Sherry's responses, we're getting something here. But it's not the right thing. So we've got a bridge somewhere back here. I don't see one. But it could be. Oh, I know where it is. this pad right here, this positive pad, is touching both of these. So it's just lighting up. See, Joseph, it is on. And while that does mean I've got good connections, that's not what I want. What I want is, and if I pull it out here, I might get it to work the way I want. Oh, it's just so faint now because I've messed up my connections. What I want is for it to fade randomly. This lily twinkle should make it fade in and out randomly. Which it kind of seems to be flickering, but that's not quite looking like the circuit I expected. And I can actually show you what I expected. Hold on just a second. So, yeah, a little paper might do it. Although I think the more I wiggle it around, since these are temporary connections, the more I'm wiggling it around right now, the worse it's getting, unfortunately. So I think we've proven that we can get a good connection. I just need to refine the design a little bit. So I'll attach my positive here on another LED to a different pad, and my negative here, and we should be able to get an example of what I'm after if we still have a connection. No, everything's dead now. Yeah, I've messed up my connection somewhere here. Boy, that conductive filament, that conductive thread is a real jerk. Wants to come unwound. And oh, there we go. We got some faint light on there. Oh, I think my batteries just died too. That's okay. I got another battery. Can it be soldered? You know, I guess in theory it could. You can solder damn near anything. Here, let's pop that battery out and try a fresh battery. Well, it's going to be really hard once I sew that on. Okay, so fresh battery. Slide you in there. Oh, we got bright lights now, and everything's on and working. So if you watch this one, we should be getting random stuff. And that one, actually, you know what it was? It was that freaking battery. It was that freaking battery. This is working. It's working perfectly. That's supposed to flicker randomly. And there it is. And this one is supposed to blink. It's working freaking perfectly. See, each one of these pads has a different effect. Wow, that is exciting. That is good news. I thought that I had screwed that up, or that thread was giving me a hard time, but it was just that stupid battery. So next steps. Now I gotta scale my circuit right and figure out how to do those end pieces so that I can sew into them better. Um, and then I can lay over the visual side of it. I can lay over a solid patch over it like this so that it looks, I've got this space scene that I'm doing that's going to look really cool. All right, see you later, Alessandro. Great. Oh, thanks, Sherry. Thanks. Good troubleshooting. Blinster, yes. It is awesome. I agree. I am pumped. So the final one is going to be a space scene. The battery is going to be a planet. This Lily Twinkle will be a planet, and the LEDs, I'm going to use white LEDs to do stars, and it's all going to be stuck on there. Now, I'm not doing anything complicated like Cap Touch for the first one, you know, baby steps. I'm just doing this, which is all pre-programmed and passive, right? So the first one's going to have like a Lily Twinkle or a Lily Sparkle or one of those on there. But then after that, after the first one, I have I have lots of options. So after the first one, I could switch to this, which is basically like the Adafruit Gemma. This is the Arduino version, so it's blue because Adafruit was all sold out of the Gemmas. But I love the size of the Gemma. If you compare it to a Flora, so here's the Adafruit Flora. If I put this on a 4x4 patch, this takes up most of the patch. I don't have any that are a full 4x4, but this Make one for our contest coming up is close. It's a little over 3. So you see that would take up most of the patch. And this is what you really need to do the more complicated stuff. So I'm moving to this, which should give me enough. Then I could program the LEDs. I can use NeoPixels. I could do Cap Touch if I wanted. I've got things like the Flora light sensors so that I could have it adjust to the ambient light of the room you're in, stuff like that. And then or I'm even working with Balam Soto. If you guys don't know who Balam is wonderful. He comes to Maker Faire, many of the different Maker Fairs with some beautiful artwork. I'm working with him. I'm going to send him some patches with the traces in them, and he's going to add his own circuitry to it to make them do some things. I'm super excited to work with Balam. I've followed his stuff for a long time. So there we go. It's a freaking success. I am pumped. I'm excited, and that's it for now. That is all I've got for now. So, again, I can't see what's on the screen right now. So I'm just going to guess that you can see my face and say thanks for watching. It's been fun. I'll see if I can streamline this and make this work a little better, and I'll do this again sometime. So, Joseph, Blenster, Alessandro's already gone, Sherry. Thanks, guys. See you later.